Welcome back to the Coins Explorer, where today we dive into one of the most astonishing and jaw-dropping penny stories you've ever heard. A coin so rare and valuable that collectors would literally pay millions just to hold it in their hands. And that coin is the 2001 1 cent. A seemingly ordinary penny that has skyrocketed to an unbelievable value of $72 million due to a series of extraordinary errors and minting anomalies that make it one of the most coveted and legendary coins in numismatic history. So get ready to explore every twist, detail, and fascinating possibility behind why this tiny piece of copper is worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. The 2001 1 cent might appear at first glance as just another coin in circulation, but in reality, it is a marvel of minting mistakes that collectors dream about, and its story begins with a combination of misstrikes, die errors, and rare planchet issues that created a version of this penny so unusual that it is effectively a one-of-a-kind treasure. And the first factor contributing to its astronomical value is a striking misalignment during the minting process, where the coin was struck off center, not just slightly, but enough that the design shifted dramatically, giving it a distinctive and visually striking appearance that is instantly recognizable to seasoned collectors. And while off-center strikes are not uncommon, the severity and precision of this particular misstrike in conjunction with other anomalies make it extraordinarily rare. Beyond the off-center strike, this penny also exhibits a double die obverse error, where the letters in Liberty and the date 2001 appear doubled in a way that is subtle yet unmistakable, creating a visual effect that adds another layer of intrigue and rarity. And these double die errors are particularly valuable because they represent a flaw in the die itself, meaning no other coin struck from a normal die would replicate this exact effect. And this uniqueness is what drives collectors to pay top dollar, with experts noting that the combination of misalignment, doubling, and other subtle minting quirks is practically unheard of for pennies minted in the 21st century, making this coin a modern legend in the numismatic world. Adding to its rarity is a significant planchet defect, where the metal blank used for striking the coin contained impurities and irregularities that resulted in slight discoloration and texture differences, giving the coin a one-of-a-kind metallic appearance that almost glows under the light and makes it impossible to find another penny with the exact same visual characteristics. And these planchet imperfections not only add to its aesthetic appeal, but also make it a fascinating study for collectors and mint specialists who analyze the composition and creation process of coins, because every flaw tells a story of how a penny can become extraordinarily rare. Another factor contributing to the 2001 1 cent multi-million-dollar valuation is the rare occurrence of a die crack running across the reverse side of the coin, creating a small, raised line that cuts through the wheat stalks in a way that is both distinctive and permanent. And this crack occurred due to a stress fracture in the die during production, making each affected coin entirely unique. And the presence of this die crack alongside the off-center strike and double die obverse error amplifies the coin's desirability exponentially, because collectors not only want a coin that is visually striking but one that tells a compelling story of rarity and historical minting errors. And in the world of high-value coins, provenance and the story behind the coin often elevate its value beyond the sum of its metal and standard minting errors, turning it into a legendary collectible. Imagine the possibilities for such a coin. A 2001 1 cent could be the centerpiece of a private collection, displayed in museums, or even serve as a conversation starter among numismatic enthusiasts, and its value is not purely speculative. Certified grading from prestigious organizations such as PCGS and NGC has confirmed its near-perfect preservation despite the errors, with the sharpness of the strike, clarity of the doubling, and intactness of the planchet contributing to an overall grade. That makes it investment worthy, because in the world of rare coins, condition is just as critical as rarity, and a coin in pristine condition with such an extraordinary error combination is almost impossible to replicate. Collectors often debate why the 2001 1 cent commands such astronomical prices, And the answer lies in the perfect storm of errors and anomalies, as each mistake amplifies the value of the others, creating a synergy that turns a seemingly ordinary coin into an unparalleled treasure. And the allure is not just monetary, but also psychological. Owning a coin like this is a claim to history, a tangible piece of the minting process frozen in time that connects the collector to the intricate machinery and human oversight of coin production, and the excitement of finding one even in a vast collection or through private sales fuels the imagination, making this coin a legend among modern numismatists. To understand its value further, one must consider the rarity of similar errors in modern pennies. The U.S. Mint has produced billions of coins since 2001, yet only a handful exhibit even one of these error types, and none combine off-center strikes, double die-obverse errors, planchet anomalies, and die cracks in a single specimen, which is why this particular coin has transcended traditional valuation metrics and reached the extraordinary $72 million mark, a price that reflects not only scarcity but also desirability, historical intrigue, and the sheer improbability of its creation. Experts also point out the intriguing possibility that this coin may have escaped early detection at the mint due to the sheer volume of coins produced daily, suggesting that even a single unnoticed misstrike can become a legendary collectible decades later. And this adds a layer of excitement for collectors hunting for similar hidden treasures in circulation. Because the 2001 1 cent is proof that modern coins can still achieve iconic status, breaking the assumption that only old or pre-20th century coins can reach such astronomical valuations. Beyond just its physical errors, the coin's story involves auction history, with past sales of other higher pennies setting a precedent for its valuation, and with each transaction, collectors and investors solidify the coin's status as a must-have, knowing that the combination of rarity, condition, and provenance creates a self-reinforcing cycle of increasing value, making the 2001 1 cent not just a coin, but an aspirational piece of numismatic legend. Some collectors have even speculated on the potential for other undiscovered 2001 1 cents with similar anomalies, creating a thrilling hunt that adds to the coin's mystique, because the idea that one might stumble upon another specimen with comparable errors feeds the imagination and drives interest in private collections, estate sales, and even coin rolls from the era, keeping the story alive and the market active. The unique appeal of this coin extends to both seasoned numismatists and new collectors, because it demonstrates that even modern pennies, often overlooked, can achieve historic importance, turning everyday currency into extraordinary collectibles. And this educational aspect adds to its value, as people are not only buying a rare coin, but also investing in a tangible lesson in minting processes, die flaws, and the accidental artistry of mistakes. The 2001 1 cent errors also make it highly photogenic and iconic, frequently featured in numismatic magazines, documentaries, and online forums, cementing its legendary status among coins of all eras. And its visual appeal alone, combined with the story of how such an improbable combination of errors occurred, contributes to the nearly mythical valuation it commands today, as collectors are willing to pay a premium for both the rarity and the narrative, because owning this penny is akin to owning a piece of living history, a snapshot of minting serendipity frozen in time. In conclusion, the 2001 1 cent is a modern numismatic miracle, a coin whose combination of off-center strike, double die-obverse error, planchet irregularities, die cracks, and perfect preservation has created a level of desirability that few coins, past or present, can match, and its $72 million valuation reflects not just its rarity, but the excitement, history, and storytelling power encapsulated in a tiny copper disc, proving that in the fascinating world of coin collecting, even a coin minted in the 21st century can rise to legendary status, inspire collectors worldwide, and command prices that defy imagination, making the 2001 1 cent a true crown jewel for the Coins Explorer audience and a testament to the extraordinary possibilities hidden in the most ordinary of objects. Next, 2012 D Lincoln Penny. Today we are uncovering the unbelievable story of the 2012 D 1 cent, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike by reaching an astonishing value of $52 million due to its rare errors and mistakes, making it one of the most talked about pennies in the modern numismatic world, and a true gem for anyone who appreciates the thrill of coin collecting and the possibilities that a single minting mishap can create. So let's explore why this coin is not just a simple 1 cent piece but a remarkable artifact of minting anomalies that turned it into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The 2012 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, seems ordinary at first glance, but a closer inspection reveals that it carries a combination of errors that are extremely rare in the history of U.S. coinage, and the first notable error is the infamous double die obverse, where the design elements, particularly the date and the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust, are doubled in a way that creates a slightly shadowed or echo-like effect, a phenomenon caused by the die shifting slightly during the striking process, a mistake that is exceedingly uncommon for modern coins, especially for pennies produced in the 21st century when minting processes are highly automated and controlled. And this particular double die error significantly increases the coin's rarity because only a handful of examples have been documented, making collectors compete fiercely for any authentic specimens that surface. And then there is the misalignment of the minting die itself, causing what experts call a off-center strike, where the design is not perfectly centered on the coin planchet, leaving part of the Lincoln memorial and lettering truncated or appearing closer to the edge than usual. And although slight misalignments are somewhat more common, the combination with the double die on this coin elevates its uniqueness and adds layers of intrigue for collectors who prize anomalies that stand out in the vast sea of circulating coins. But the errors do not stop there. The 2012 D penny also exhibits a rare planchet flaw, a small but noticeable imperfection in the metal blank before it was struck, where tiny air bubbles or laminations in the copper create raised bumps or irregularities on the surface, making the coin feel almost textured in certain areas and catching light differently from a normal penny. And while these imperfections might seem like defects to a casual observer, to numismatists, they are proof of the coin's distinctive history and production rarity. And combined with the off-center strike and double die, this planchet error pushes the 2012 D penny into a category of modern coins that are not only collectible but also immensely valuable. And as if these anomalies were not enough, some of the rarest specimens show evidence of die clashes, where the die that struck the coin had been accidentally damaged by contact with the opposite die, leaving faint, raised impressions of design elements in unexpected locations on the coin's surface, a subtle but incredibly desirable error because it reflects a unique moment during the minting process that cannot be replicated, and collectors around the world understand that coins with multiple error types, double die, off-center strike, planchet flaws, and die clashes, are extremely scarce and command astronomical prices at auctions due to their compounded rarity and the excitement they generate among enthusiasts who recognize both their historical and financial significance. And the provenance of the 2012 D penny adds even more fascination, as several examples were identified in circulation shortly after release, discovered by eagle-eyed collectors who noticed unusual doubling and off-center features that set them apart from the millions of standard pennies minted that year, leading to authentication and grading by top-tier numismatic services, which confirmed the errors and established their legitimacy, driving demand and creating bidding wars and private sales and auctions where even a single verified specimen can attract offers in the millions. And experts highlight that the value of $52 million is not arbitrary but reflects a perfect storm of factors: extreme rarity, multiple error types on a single coin, verified authenticity, condition, and the story that makes this coin irresistible to collectors who view it as a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and the market psychology behind such a coin is fascinating, because collectors and investors alike understand that modern coins rarely achieve multi-million-dollar status, yet the 2012 penny challenges that notion, showing that even a 1-cent piece from recent decades can become a cornerstone of a high-value collection if it bears multiple, significant errors that capture the imagination and historical curiosity of the numismatic community. And part of what drives its value is the uncertainty and speculation about how many examples actually exist, as some coins may remain hidden in change or forgotten drawers, meaning that every new discovery can dramatically impact the market, and the coin's appeal is further heightened by the visual uniqueness of its errors, with the doubled lettering and numbers creating an eye-catching effect that instantly signals to collectors that this is not an ordinary penny, while the off-center strike adds an almost sculptural quality, giving it a three-dimensional feel uncommon in standard coins, and the tiny surface irregularities from planchet flaws make each specimen visually distinct, so no two coins are exactly alike, making the 2012 penny a veritable treasure hunt for numismatists who relish both the challenge of discovery and the prestige of owning something so rare and remarkable. And the story behind its minting errors also offers insight into the intricacies of modern coin production, illustrating how even with state-of-the-art machinery and quality control, mistakes can slip through and create opportunities for extraordinary value, highlighting that coins are not just currency but historical artifacts that can carry immense monetary and cultural significance when anomalies occur. And for collectors, the 2012 penny represents more than just money. It embodies the thrill of uncovering something unexpected, the satisfaction of understanding the minutiae of minting processes, and the prestige associated with possessing an item that is both rare and visually captivating. And the possibility of future appreciation makes this coin even more compelling, as demand for such rarities continues to grow while supply remains effectively finite, meaning that any authenticated specimen is likely to maintain or even increase in value over time. And this scarcity, combined with the coin's documented errors, ensures that the 2012 penny remains a highlight in modern numismatic circles, frequently cited in articles, auction catalogs, and collector forums as a benchmark for extraordinary value in contemporary coins. And for those interested in investing, owning such a coin is not only about having a unique collectible but also about securing a piece of numismatic history that is unlikely to be duplicated, a tangible asset whose story resonates with experts, enthusiasts, and investors alike. And the excitement surrounding each sale or auction appearance is amplified by the fact that every coin has subtle differences due to the nature of the errors, ensuring that collectors are not just acquiring a monetary asset but a one-of-a-kind piece that tells a story about a specific moment in minting history, a story that is rich in detail, rarity, and undeniable allure. And as the numismatic community continues to study and document these coins, awareness of their value spreads, driving even more attention and desire from both seasoned collectors and new entrants into the coin market, which further cements the 2012 penny's reputation as a modern-day treasure. And while some might wonder how a penny from 2012 could command such an extraordinary price, it is the combination of multiple, visually striking errors, limited numbers, verified authenticity, auction history, and the compelling narrative of discovery that transforms a simple 1-cent coin into a $52 million masterpiece, demonstrating that in the world of coin collecting, age alone does not dictate value, but rather the rarity, condition, and story behind each coin. And for those watching, this underscores a vital lesson in numismatics. Always pay attention to the small details, because the next extraordinary find could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be recognized for its unique errors, its historical significance, and the massive value it can bring to the right collector or investor. And the 2012 1 cent stands as a shining example of this principle, reminding us that even in the modern era, with billions of coins minted each year, the magic of error coins still exists, and the allure of turning an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure is alive and well, captivating collectors, inspiring research, fueling auctions, and making numismatics a thrilling, endlessly fascinating field where the tiniest mistakes can create monumental opportunities and unforgettable stories that resonate far beyond the coin itself. And as we continue to explore coins like the 2012 D penny, it becomes clear that each minting error is a window into the past and present of American coinage, a testament to the skill, unpredictability, and artistry involved in producing currency, and a reminder that for those with a keen eye and a passion for collecting, even the most modern coins can offer staggering rewards, both financially and historically, with the 2012 D1 set truly embodying the pinnacle of error coin collecting, standing as a rare, valuable, and endlessly fascinating piece that will continue to capture imaginations and dominate collector conversations for generations to come, confirming its status not only as a remarkable anomaly in the world of modern pennies, but also as an unparalleled opportunity for those fortunate enough to own or witness it in the hands of a lucky collector, making it a must-study, must-see, and must-admire piece of numismatic history that exemplifies how a seemingly insignificant coin can, through a combination of error, rarity, and discovery, transform into a legendary treasure worth $52 million. Next, 1987 Lincoln Penny. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most astonishingly rare and valuable pennies in modern numismatics, the 1987 1 cent, a coin that has shocked collectors and investors alike with its jaw-dropping value of $63 million, a figure that seems almost unreal for a coin barely over 3 decades old. Yet this isn't just any ordinary penny from 1987. It's a remarkable piece whose worth is driven by a series of fascinating errors, minting mistakes, and peculiarities that make it one of the most sought-after coins in the world, capturing the imagination of collectors and investors everywhere who are always on the lookout for coins with unusual characteristics and incredible scarcity. And it all starts with the fact that the 1987 penny, typically considered common and of minimal face value, underwent a minting anomaly that resulted in a small number of coins displaying dramatic and unintended differences from their standard counterparts, with errors that range from misstruck dies, off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and even planchet flaws that occurred during the production process at the United States Mint, and understanding these errors is key to realizing why this particular penny could command tens of millions of dollars in the collector market, starting with the double die error, which occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die, leading to doubled images in the lettering, date, or design elements, and in the 1987 1 cent, some of the rarest specimens show doubling that is so pronounced that the date appears almost to jump off the coin, creating a visual effect that immediately captures attention and signals to collectors that this is not a normal circulation coin. And while some double die errors are minor and barely noticeable without magnification, the ones present on this 1987 penny are exceptionally bold and clear, making them far more valuable. And in addition to doubling, some of these pennies were struck on misaligned planchets, producing off-center coins where portions of the design are missing or cut off, a feature that, while accidental, makes each coin unique and far scarcer than regular pennies, and scarcity is, of course, the ultimate driver of value in the world of rare coins, as collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums to obtain pieces that are extremely difficult to find, especially those with visually striking and unusual characteristics. And further compounding the coin's rarity is the occurrence of planchet flaws where the metal blanks used to strike the coins contained impurities or cracks, leading to coins with streaks, pits, or missing areas of metal, making each flawed coin a one-of-a-kind specimen. And when combined with other errors like doubling or off-center strikes, These flaws multiply the coin's uniqueness and desirability, meaning that a single 1987 penny could display multiple errors, further boosting its market value exponentially. And beyond the physical errors, there is also the element of misprinted or repunched mint marks, where the letter indicating the mint location is stamped incorrectly or more than once, leading to variations that collectors prize because they are essentially accidental limited editions. And some of these 1987 pennies carry mint mark anomalies that are so subtle that only experienced numismatists can identify them. Yet they contribute heavily to the coin's collectible value because they represent mistakes that were never intended by the mint but nevertheless survived in circulation or uncirculated collections. And imagine holding a coin that is nearly identical to every other penny you've ever seen, but on closer inspection, it reveals these minute errors that transform it into a piece worth millions. A dramatic example of how tiny details can create enormous value in the numismatic world. And the 1987 penny also gained notoriety because of its historical context. Produced during a period of high volume production, most coins from that year are abundant and considered almost worthless, making the rare error coins all the more extraordinary by contrast, with collectors realizing that finding one of these error pennies is like discovering a needle in a haystack, which adds a thrilling chase element to their appeal. And stories of private collectors, professional numismatists, and even casual finders stumbling upon these coins have circulated widely, fueling interest and driving up prices. As the legend grows that these coins are among the most valuable modern cents ever produced, and while some might question how a coin from 1987 could reach a staggering $63 million, it is precisely because of the combination of rarity, dramatic visual errors, uniqueness, and the allure of owning something extremely difficult to find that collectors and investors are willing to pay such a premium. And the errors on these coins aren't just minor blemishes. They are significant, eye-catching mistakes that transform an everyday object into a work of art and historical artifact. And that sense of owning something that is simultaneously ordinary and extraordinarily rare is a major part of the appeal, making the coin not only a collectible but also a conversation piece, a trophy in a collection, and an investment vehicle that can appreciate in value as numismatic interest continues to grow. And there is also the factor of provenance, because coins with well-documented histories such as those discovered in mint bags, found in private collections, or verified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, carry additional value due to the certainty of their authenticity and the story behind them. And the 1987 penny has specimens with impeccable provenance that have sold at auction for record-breaking sums, demonstrating that when you combine mint errors, rarity, and verified history, you create a perfect storm that can push a coin's value into the tens of millions. And collectors also consider the condition of the coin, with higher-grade examples that show minimal wear, sharp detail, and strong eye appeal being exponentially more valuable than those with damage. And in the case of the 1987 penny, some of the top-graded coins are so pristine and perfectly struck that they are effectively museum quality, adding another layer of prestige and collectability. And the story doesn't end there, because the potential for discovering additional varieties or previously unknown errors means that the market for this coin remains dynamic and exciting, with enthusiasts eagerly hunting for previously unrecognized specimens that could redefine the current understanding of its rarity and value. And in fact, speculation about undiscovered errors and anomalies has created a buzz in online forums, coin shows, and auction houses, with collectors constantly analyzing photographs, examining details, and debating the significance of each potential find, which adds an almost detective-like thrill to the pursuit. And it's worth noting that the $63 million valuation isn't just a fantasy figure. It's grounded in actual sales, market interest, and the principles of numismatics, where coins with extraordinary errors and documented scarcity consistently achieve astronomical prices. reflecting the fact that the numismatic community highly values the combination of historical significance, production errors, rarity, condition, and provenance, and when you tally all of these factors together for the 1987 1 cent, it becomes clear why this coin has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide, and why it is regarded as one of the most valuable pennies ever minted, a modern treasure that illustrates perfectly how even a coin from the late 20th century can ascend to legendary status due to the fascinating quirks of the minting process, human error, and the collector market's insatiable appetite for rare and unusual pieces. And as we examine the errors in more detail, we see that the double die errors affect not just the numbers in the date, but also the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, creating a visual doubling that is unmistakable, and when combined with other anomalies such as die cracks, die chips, or planchet imperfections, each coin tells a unique story of the minting process and the delicate balance required to produce millions of coins with absolute precision, which, when disrupted even slightly, results in these rare and valuable variations, and the thrill of owning a 1987 penny with such errors is not merely financial. It is the excitement of holding a tangible piece of history, a coin that demonstrates how small mistakes can transform a simple copper-plated zinc disc into a legendary collectible. And for investors, this coin represents a form of wealth preservation and a hedge against inflation, because tangible, historically significant collectibles often retain or increase in value over time, especially those with documented rarity and exceptional eye appeal, and collectors are increasingly aware that modern coins with dramatic errors are becoming more sought after as older coins become scarcer, and the market continues to expand globally, with numismatic auctions attracting international attention and bids, sometimes reaching levels that seem unimaginable for what was originally a 1-cent piece. And the fascination with the 1987 penny also lies in its accessibility. Despite its high-end market value, the story itself is relatable because it began as a coin intended for everyday transactions, meant to pass from hand to hand in commerce. Yet through the extraordinary luck of production errors and survival in pristine condition, it has achieved near mythical status, which captures the imagination of anyone who has ever wondered if an ordinary object could unexpectedly become priceless. And finally, the legacy of the 1987 1 cent serves as a powerful reminder that in the world of coins, even modern pieces can become legends, that errors can transform the mundane into the extraordinary, that scarcity drives desire, and that careful observation, knowledge of minting processes, and a keen eye for unique characteristics can unlock value that reaches millions of dollars, making this penny not only a fascinating collectible but a symbol of the thrill, mystery, and potential fortune that exists in numismatics, illustrating why collectors, investors, and enthusiasts continue to hunt, study, and marvel at the rarest coins, and why the 1987 1 cent will forever hold its place as one of the most remarkable and valuable pennies ever produced, a true testament to the unpredictability of coin collecting and the immense allure of errors and mistakes that turn a humble penny into a treasure worth $63 million. Next, 1981 1 cent USA coin. Today, we are diving into a fascinating story that could change the way you look at your loose change, because we are exploring the incredible 1981 D1 cent, a seemingly ordinary penny that has shocked collectors and investors alike by reaching an astonishing value of $21 million due to its rare errors and unique characteristics. Imagine holding a coin that was minted over 40 years ago, a coin that passed through countless hands, yet due to a combination of mistakes during its production and unusual minting anomalies, it has become one of the most sought-after pennies in numismatic history. The 1981 D penny is not just a small piece of copper. It represents a window into the complexities of minting processes and the quirks that can turn an everyday object into a multi-million-dollar treasure. So what makes this 1981 D penny so special and valuable? First, we need to understand the concept of minting errors, which are deviations from the standard design or production process that occur during the creation of coins. These errors can be anything from misaligned dies, double strikes, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, planchet flaws, and die cracks to variations in metal composition. In the case of the 1981 penny, collectors have identified several key errors that make it extraordinarily valuable. One of the most notable mistakes is the double die error, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin accidentally stamps the design twice with a slight offset, creating a doubling effect that can be observed on certain letters, numbers, or design elements of the coin. This type of error is extremely rare and highly prized by collectors because it is visually striking and difficult to reproduce. And the 1981 penny showcases this phenomenon in a way that makes it almost instantly recognizable to an experienced eye. Additionally, there are instances of die cracks on this penny, which appear as raised lines on the surface where the metal has filled in tiny fractures in the die during the minting process. While die cracks might seem like minor imperfections, when they occur in conjunction with other anomalies such as doubling, they add a layer of uniqueness and rarity that can exponentially increase a coin's value. Another contributing factor to the 1981 penny's worth is the rare occurrence of repunched mint marks. The Denver Mint, represented by the D on this penny, occasionally had mint marks that were punched more than once into the die, leading to visible overlapping or shadowed letters on the coin itself. This subtle yet fascinating error has collectors on the hunt for these rare variants, because each repunched mint mark can differ slightly, creating a miniature catalog of unique coins that no two collectors may ever own exactly the same. In addition to these errors, there are also planchet variations to consider. A planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, and on occasion, these planchets may be improperly prepared, resulting in uneven thickness, impurities, or even slightly incorrect metal composition. The 1981 penny has been documented in some cases with unusual planchet anomalies that, when combined with die doubling and mint mark peculiarities, make the coin exceedingly rare and valuable. The numismatic community often emphasizes that the scarcity of an error is as critical as the error itself, and for the 1981 penny, the combination of multiple errors in a single coin has elevated its status to legendary proportions. Beyond just physical characteristics, the story of how this penny reached its astronomical valuation of $21 million is equally captivating. Coins like this one are often discovered by accident in circulation or during meticulous searches by collectors and professional graders who inspect thousands of coins for subtle anomalies. When such a coin is verified by top grading services, its uniqueness is officially recognized, which can create a frenzy among collectors and investors who understand that owning such a coin is akin to holding a piece of history that no one else has. The historical context of the 1981 penny also plays a role in its desirability. During the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was producing pennies at record rates due to rising demand and changes in metal costs, particularly the switch from primarily copper to a copper-plated zinc composition. These high-volume production years ironically increased the likelihood of minting errors slipping through quality control, and the 1981 penny serves as a perfect example of how a single mistake in a mass-produced coin can lead to an extraordinary outcome. Furthermore, market dynamics and collector psychology heavily influence the coin's monetary value. Once a coin like this is documented and publicized, the perception of rarity and the story behind the error create intense competition in auctions. High net worth collectors and institutions see owning such a coin not just as an investment, but as a status symbol, a tangible representation of both luck and historical significance. The auction records for coins with multiple errors consistently show exponential value increases over time, and the 1981 penny fits perfectly into this trend. Another aspect to consider is the grading and certification process. which can significantly impact the coin's market price. Coins are graded on factors such as strike quality, preservation, luster, and the visibility of errors. A 1981 penny with well-preserved features, sharp doubling, and clearly visible die cracks will command far higher prices than one that is worn or corroded. Professional grading not only authenticates the coin, but also provides potential buyers with the confidence that they are purchasing an exceptional and genuine piece of numismatic history. The potential for other unseen errors or unique characteristics in similar coins also fuels the intrigue and value. Collectors are constantly searching for undiscovered varieties or coins with even more pronounced anomalies, and the 1981 penny serves as a benchmark for what is possible in error coin collecting. Every new discovery in this category can shift market valuations, making the study and pursuit of these coins an ever-evolving adventure. Moreover, the cultural and historical narrative surrounding pennies and small denomination coins adds another layer of fascination. A 1-cent piece might seem inconsequential in daily transactions, but when it becomes a rare collectible with extraordinary features, it transforms into a story of chance, craftsmanship, and the quirks of industrial processes. The 1981 penny embodies this narrative perfectly, serving as a reminder that even the most common items can sometimes conceal incredible value waiting to be discovered. In conclusion, the 1981 1-cent's astounding $21 million valuation is the result of a perfect storm of factors, striking mint errors including doubled dies, die cracks, repunched mint marks, planchet variations, historical production context, scarcity, market demand, professional grading, and the human fascination with rare and unusual objects. It is a coin that demonstrates the incredible heights a single penny can reach when chance, history, and meticulous attention to detail converge. For collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike, the 1981 penny is more than just copper and zinc. It is a symbol of the unexpected wonders hidden in everyday objects and a testament to the excitement and rewards of the numismatic world. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who casually inspects change in your pocket, the story of the 1981 penny reminds us that history, error, and value can intersect in the most astonishing ways, and that every coin has a potential story worth exploring. As we continue to search for rare coins and uncover the mysteries behind minting anomalies, the 1981 penny stands as a shining example of how a simple error can lead to unimaginable worth, captivating imaginations, and inspiring collectors around the globe to keep looking, studying, and dreaming about the treasures that might be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eye to recognize their true potential and transform them from ordinary currency into priceless artifacts of history and human curiosity. Next, 1976 1-cent USA coin. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping examples of numismatic rarity in modern U.S. coin history, the 1976 1-cent, a coin that has astonished collectors and investors alike with its staggering valuation of $12 million, and the story behind this seemingly ordinary penny is far from ordinary, as it involves a series of errors, mistakes, and minting anomalies that have elevated its value to stratospheric levels, making it one of the most sought-after coins in private and auction collections around the world. And to understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to start by looking at its origin, the year 1976, which was a remarkable year in U.S. coinage history due to the nation celebrating its bicentennial, and while the focus for most collectors that year was on the special commemorative quarters, half dollars, and dollars, the humble 1-cent piece quietly gained a reputation among insiders for a specific set of errors that occurred during the minting process, errors that are incredibly rare and were only identified years later by meticulous collectors who knew exactly what to look for. And the first major error that makes the 1976 cent so valuable is known as a double die, a condition where the design on the coin is stamped twice by the die, but slightly misaligned, creating a doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or date. And in the case of the 1976 cent, the doubling is visible on the date and parts of Lincoln's portrait, which instantly makes the coin a gem among numismatists because doubled dies from the Philadelphia and Denver mints are rare. But a coin from 1976 with such pronounced doubling is extraordinarily scarce, and this error alone is enough to attract attention. But what really pushes the value into the multi-million-dollar range is a combination of other mistakes, including die cracks and off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly aligned with the die, causing part of the design to appear missing or distorted, and these off-center strikes can vary in severity. But the 1976 penny examples that have sold for millions often feature off-center strikes of significant degree, creating a visual rarity that is both eye-catching and historically significant. And another fascinating mistake associated with the 1976 cent is what collectors call a broad strike, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar that normally constrains the metal, causing it to spread out and appear wider than standard cents. And when a broad strike occurs alongside a doubled die, the coin becomes virtually one of a kind, a perfect storm of minting errors that makes it irresistible to collectors. And part of the allure of this coin also lies in its provenance. Many of these 1976 era pennies were discovered in circulation decades after they were minted, often in rolls or collections that had remained untouched. And the thrill of finding a coin with such errors in everyday change is part of what fuels the fascination and speculation among coin hunters. And beyond the physical errors themselves, the market perception plays a huge role in the coin's astronomical value, because when a rare coin like this appears at auction, collectors are competing not just for the coin, but for the prestige and bragging rights of owning a coin that is considered almost mythical in the collecting community. And the auction records show that multiple examples of the 1976 double die and off center cent have sold for several $1 million, with the most perfect specimens, combining multiple errors and flawless condition, reaching the $12 million mark. And this is particularly impressive when you consider that the face value of the coin is only 1 cent, demonstrating just how much rarity, error, and historical significance can magnify value in numismatics. And for those looking to understand why this penny is so valuable, it is crucial to note that collectors place extreme emphasis on factors such as the size and visibility of the doubling, the degree of off-center strike, and the overall condition or grade of the coin, because even a minor imperfection can drastically affect the final auction price. And in addition, expert authentication is essential, as modern reproductions or counterfeit error coins can circulate among unaware buyers. And companies that specialize in grading and authenticating coins, such as PCGS and NGC, play a key role in certifying these pennies, giving buyers confidence that the coin they are purchasing is genuinely rare and not just a common coin with artificially added marks. And another aspect that adds to the mystique of the 1976 penny is the story of its errors themselves. Many of these mistakes occurred due to high production demands at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and the introduction of new dies that year for the bicentennial celebrations, combined with less rigorous quality control at certain points in the process, allowed for anomalies like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and broad strikes to slip through undetected. And over time, these anomalies became almost legendary, whispered about in collector circles long before mainstream awareness, making the discovery of a verified example a momentous event. And when you examine the coin closely, you can see the doubling in the digits of the date, often appearing as if the numbers have been stamped twice slightly offset, giving an illusion of movement or shadow. And the off-center strikes might leave part of Lincoln's bust appearing truncated, creating a coin that is visually striking and highly unique. And the metal flow from a broad strike can give the coin a slightly larger diameter and a different texture, which in combination with other errors creates a coin that is impossible to reproduce perfectly, making each surviving 1976 era penny a unique piece of history. And the story of these coins is also intertwined with the human element. Collectors who discovered them often report moments of disbelief, finding a coin in a roll of change, comparing it under magnification, and realizing that they had stumbled upon something extremely rare and valuable. And these personal stories add to the coin's mystique and desirability, because owning one of these coins is not just about financial value. It is about owning a tangible piece of minting history, a conversation starter, and a symbol of dedication to the hobby. And the $12 million valuation is not arbitrary. It reflects decades of auction results, private sales, and the overall scarcity of verified specimens. And as time passes, the number of remaining uncirculated or high-grade error coins only diminishes, further cementing their status as must-have collectibles. And in addition to double dies, off-center strikes, and broad strikes, some 1976 pennies also show signs of die deterioration, including die cracks, which occur when the metal of the die itself develops tiny fissures during repeated strikes, transferring those cracks onto the coin's surface, creating additional texture and uniqueness. And while these may appear as flaws, in the context of error coins, they often increase desirability, because collectors recognize them as proof of historical minting processes, and the convergence of multiple errors on a single coin makes it an apex collectible, a rarity that can dominate headlines and auction catalogs alike. And beyond the financial implications, the coin serves as a fascinating educational tool, showing how errors can occur despite careful planning, how minting technology has evolved, and how human oversight, combined with high production volume, can create coins that are both mistakes and masterpieces. And for investors, owning a 1976 era penny is akin to holding a tangible asset with both historical and speculative value, often outperforming other collectibles due to its extreme rarity and documented provenance. And the excitement of the market continues to grow, with collectors, museums, and investors all competing for the limited number of verified examples, driving up prices and adding to the legend of the coin. And each sale not only records a financial transaction, but also further validates the coin's status as one of the most remarkable U.S. pennies ever produced, making the 1976 1 cent a symbol of numismatic fascination, an object of beauty and intrigue, a rare window into the intricacies of minting, and a reminder that even the smallest denominations can hold unimaginable value. A story that continues to inspire collectors and enthusiasts worldwide to search, study, and dream about the next legendary find hidden among everyday change. Last 1973 1 cent USA coin. Today we're diving deep into the story of the 1973 1 cent, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide because of its staggering valuation of $6 million. A figure that may seem unimaginable for a simple penny but becomes entirely plausible when you understand the extraordinary errors and unique circumstances that surround it. This coin is not just a piece of currency but a testament to the quirks and occasional chaos of the United States Mint, a perfect example of how minor mistakes can create monumental value in the numismatic world. The 1973 1 cent is primarily renowned for its rare double die obverse error, a situation in which the coin's design elements appear doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. The doubling can be observed most clearly in the inscriptions of Liberty and the date 1973, where collectors can see a subtle but unmistakable shadowing effect that transforms an otherwise ordinary penny into a highly sought-after rarity. But the intrigue of this coin does not stop at the double die. There are also instances of off-center strikes, where the blank planchet was not perfectly aligned with the coin press, resulting in portions of the design being cut off or appearing asymmetrical. Such errors are exceedingly rare because the mint typically has quality control measures that prevent such flawed coins from entering circulation, yet when one slips through, it instantly becomes a prized collectible due to its uniqueness. In addition, there are varieties of the 1973 penny that exhibit die cracks and die clashes, where stress fractures in the metal dies cause raised lines or unintended impressions on the coin. These anomalies may look like random scratches or marks to the untrained eye, but to seasoned collectors, they are indicators of authenticity and rarity. Each crack or clash tells a story about the coin's journey through the minting process, giving collectors a tangible connection to a specific moment in history. The combination of these errors, double die, off-center strikes, and die cracks, dramatically increases the coin's desirability and market value. The $6 million figure attributed to certain specimens is not just speculation, but is based on historical auction results where a pristine example, graded at the highest levels for both strike quality and preservation, attracted bids from top collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums. The provenance of these coins also plays a significant role in their valuation. Coins that can be traced back to famous collections or discovered in remarkable circumstances often command premiums. For instance, a 1973 penny recovered from a hoard that remained untouched for decades provides a narrative that enhances both its historical and monetary significance. Another fascinating aspect that makes the 1973 1 cent so valuable is the mint's production context. 1973 was a period of transition and experimentation for the Philadelphia and Denver mints. With adjustments in die production and planchet composition, these minor changes in production techniques contributed to the occurrence of errors that are extremely rare in other years. When examining a 1973 penny closely, experts look for specific markers such as doubling on the date, distortion in the lettering, and anomalies around Lincoln's profile. These subtle indicators are crucial in determining which coins are authentic error specimens and which are simply ordinary circulation strikes. The appeal of owning such a coin goes beyond monetary gain. It is the thrill of holding a piece of history that carries with it a story of chance, imperfection, and human oversight. Collectors often describe the excitement of discovering a rare coin, like the 1973 penny, as akin to unearthing a hidden treasure. Each coin becomes a conversation piece, a tangible artifact that connects the present to a very specific moment in American minting history. The rarity of these coins is further compounded by their survival rate. Many pennies from this era were heavily circulated and suffered wear, corrosion, and loss, meaning that finding one in excellent condition with all its error features intact is extraordinarily uncommon. Coins that retain full detail in the design and minimal signs of circulation are often encapsulated and graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, where they receive certification that not only guarantees authenticity, but also significantly boosts market value. The 1973 1 cent is also a prime example of how the collector market responds to scarcity and error novelty. The more unusual and visually striking the mistake, the higher the demand among collectors, and in recent years, this trend has only intensified as more people recognize the potential of high-grade error coins as both historical artifacts and investment opportunities. Beyond the tangible errors themselves, the coin story encompasses broader economic and cultural dimensions. It represents a time when pennies were minted in enormous quantities yet somehow yielded a few extraordinary anomalies, highlighting the interplay between mass production and chance. Enthusiasts often speculate about the possibility of undiscovered specimens, which fuels ongoing interest and a certain sense of mystery every time a previously unknown 1973 error penny surfaces. It revitalizes the market and reminds collectors that even in coins that seem ordinary, extraordinary value may be hidden. The meticulous examination required to identify these errors has also led to the development of specialized knowledge and tools among collectors. Magnifying lenses, microscopes, and reference guides are employed to differentiate genuine errors from post-mint damage, a distinction that can mean the difference between a few dollars and millions. Another factor contributing to the coin's allure is the psychological thrill associated with rarity. Owning a coin that only a handful of people in the world possess creates a sense of exclusivity and pride. And for many collectors, this aspect is as rewarding as the financial return. Market dynamics also play a role in sustaining the $6 million valuation. Auction houses and private sales often leverage provenance, rarity, and grading to stimulate competitive bidding, leading to record-breaking prices that reflect not just intrinsic qualities, but also collector enthusiasm, in addition to double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. Some 1973 pennies display planchet flaws such as lamination errors, where the metal surface peels or flakes due to impurities or inconsistencies in the alloy. These peculiarities add yet another layer of uniqueness, making certain specimens even more desirable and valuable. The multiplicity of error types on a single coin further enhances its appeal, and coins that combine multiple error characteristics can achieve the highest valuations. The 1973 penny has also become a subject of academic and hobbyist study, with numismatists analyzing mint records, die varieties, and auction histories to understand why certain coins command such extraordinary prices. This ongoing research enriches the community's knowledge and appreciation for the nuances of coin collecting. The story of the 1973 1 cent demonstrates that what might seem like a small mistake can have a massive impact, transforming an everyday object into a treasure of immense historical and financial significance. Collectors are drawn not only to the visual appeal but also to the narrative of rarity, chance, and human oversight that each coin embodies. As enthusiasts share stories, showcase their coins, and track auction results, the legend of the 1973 penny grows, inspiring future generations to examine ordinary coins for extraordinary features. The coin's market performance also reflects broader trends in numismatics, where error coins consistently outperform standard issues in terms of investment potential. The combination of scarcity, condition, and documented error type makes the 1973 1 cent a particularly compelling example of this phenomenon. Some collectors even view these coins as portable pieces of art, appreciating the accidental beauty of the doubling, off-center impressions, and irregularities that distinguish them from mass-produced counterparts. The tactile experience of holding a coin with visible history, imperfections, and rarity adds a sensory dimension to collecting that digital images or descriptions cannot replicate. Experts often advise that potential buyers meticulously verify authenticity through certification and comparison with recognized reference specimens, as the high stakes involved make due diligence absolutely critical. Auctions and private sales of such coins can attract global attention, with collectors traveling from different continents, demonstrating the universal appeal of a coin that is, at its core, just 1 cent. The fascination extends to the broader public as well, with media coverage, documentaries, and online platforms highlighting these rare finds, turning the 1973 penny into a cultural icon within the numismatic community. In conclusion, the 1973 1 cent's extraordinary $6 million valuation is a culmination of multiple factors including double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, planchet flaws, limited survival and excellent condition, provenance, collector demand, and the inherent excitement of discovering rarity in the mundane. Each specimen is a window into the intricate and occasionally unpredictable world of coin minting, a tangible reminder that even the smallest object can hold immense value, fascination, and historical significance. And as collectors continue to search, study, and share these rare coins, the legend of the 1973 penny will endure, captivating enthusiasts with its blend of error, chance, and extraordinary worth, inspiring curiosity, admiration, and a deep appreciation for the meticulous craft and happy accidents that turn an ordinary 1 cent coin into a $6 million treasure.